not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And I tell you right now, nobody's doing any critical thinking and nobody's using any common sense. Now in this video here, I'm going to go into social media, the social media Slamfest. And I tell you, things were a whole lot different when I was growing up. I tell you, social media has made a lot of things worse. So I'm trying to figure out what. I'm like, social media is kind of like a double-edged sword. I'm like, it's good to get your ideas out there, but you know what I mean. It's almost like there's no right or wrong. It's not about being right, not about being wrong. It's about getting public opinion on your side, and that's the thing. That's what it's all about. Now, I think about the Rodney King case. And most of you people are familiar with that. But imagine if the Rodney King beating happened in 2015. If it happened in 2015, Rodney King wouldn't stand a fucking chance. The smear campaign against him would be astronomical. Because we got the female at, what's the name of that school? The female who just got grappled and tackled out of her desk. I'm listening to the muck breaking going on. How they're dragging her through the muck and the mire. And now they're trying to make this police officer, this dude, rent a cop or whatever he was, they're trying to make him sit like he's the hero. You know what I mean? He saved the day. But going back into Rodney King, now, if that would have happened, the Rodney King case would have happened in present day, people would be like, oh, well, what was Rodney King doing? Oh, he was in a high-speed chase. Oh, well, he was, got PCP. I'm like, you see what I mean? See, back in the 90s, when people was a whole lot smarter, we didn't, I'm like, you would get smacked. When the whole Rodney King thing broke out, popular consensus was that the police officers was in the wrong. If you was to sit up there and say, oh, well, why was Rodney King speeding? You get slapped. If you would have said, oh, Rodney King, was he on drugs, on PCP? You would have been like, oh, but what about his extensive criminal record or whatever? You would have been like, that's the thing. It didn't matter. The police officers, these authoritarians, they go through training and they should be able to handle certain situations. But once we have this mentality, our society gets to the point where if you act up, these officers can react with extreme prejudice when they can pretty much do anything. We say, okay, well, you did this. Uh-oh. You see what I mean? And in that case, we can just hire anybody. We can hire a crackhead off the street and tell this crackhead, hey, you want a job, man? We're going to get you here. You're going to control these kids in this school. And if one of them acts up, you get to do whatever you want with them. You see what I mean? Where is the professionalism? And that's the thing. But in the realm of social media, where people have turned into mental sleuths, it's all out the window. Nobody's thinking. The Rodney King case, it was, even though the police officers who committed that atrocity got off the first time, because that there's probably people out there that probably believe that Rodney King was in the wrong back then. They kept that opinion to themselves. So therefore, when they went to court, I can understand those court procedures probably went on, and they're talking about, you know, his criminal record, you know, the fact that he was speeding, and they were probably talking about those police officers, how decorated they are, and this guy's a 22-year veteran, you know, he saved a little black kid from a burning building, and you know, things of that nature. You see what I mean? But back in the days, we wasn't having it, and you had to understand. You know, did that matter? You know what I mean? It's like Mike Brown. You know, they're trying to bring up, oh, well, you know, well, on his SoundCloud, you know, he had some rap songs, some gangster rap songs on his SoundCloud idea. One, Stephen Molyneux actually brought up the fact that some of Mike Brown's siblings got into a fight over Mike Brown t-shirts or whatever. And what does that have to do? But of course, in the realm of social media, you can gather up all this information. People can put up their own warped theories. You know what I mean? Left is right and right is left. Up is down and down is up. Everything is all messed up now. Nothing makes sense. Yeah, and I tell you, you know, if the Rodney King beating was to happen in 2015, he would not have stood a chance. They would have talked about how tall is he, or he's 6'4", he's 6'5", and things of that nature. Look how they demonize all these other people, you know. And then Rodney King, he's somebody that was doing something wrong. You know, he was kind of caught up in that life. He was on drugs, but in the 90s, when people had, back in the days when people had more common sense, they said, man, that shit didn't matter. You know, I don't know how Fox News was back then, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying, the majority of the country, now I went to a predominantly white school, you know, and most of them say what them cops did was fucked up. You know, people didn't go into, you know, Rodney King's background because it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, and that's the thing. And I remember when I got into college, and I was talking to a white dude, and it was like the first time I actually heard somebody, and this was years after the Rodney King thing, where he says, oh, they made a hero out of Rodney King and things of that. You know, Rodney King was on drugs and things of that nature. Man, I was about to smash that dude for saying that, because what does it matter? But now it does. You know what I mean? Now everybody wants to be the judge. You know, for the things that you do. You know, and it's funny that some of these authoritarian figures, you know what I'm saying, they have screwed up backgrounds or whatever, but they don't bring that up. And the thing is, we're living in times, our society is worse than Nazi Germany. And and situations getting critical. You know. And the thing is, going into what was it, Hill Valley, whatever that school, that female who got thrashed, and everybody's saying, well, what would you do? Well, how are you going to get this person out to sea? That shows you how people's brains have turned into mush. I admit, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I analyzed that situation with the 16-year-old, and I say, well, we have the human body has pressure points. You know, you get on one of those pressure points. I think we have 23, 24, or 27 pressure points. Or one adult holds the desk to the ground, just holds it down, while another adult submits her and pulls her away. It's simple, you know. But the thing is, people don't think anymore. You know what I mean? They don't. They peddle easy answers. You know, and I'm like, and it's insane. You know, the court of public opinion is the dominant factor, and I tell you right now, black people, we're losing. Black people, we're losing. They're trying to send black people back into the Jim Crow era. They're trying to send us back to a realm where we have no rights, where we can be abused and misused. You know, just like how it was back in the olden days. You know, that's where it's going to. You know, but that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and never stop thinking.